Yeah, it looks like it's about to go live. There's 5 waiting.
Well, they'll wait no more. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. Welcome back to the Crazy Crafter live stream. I'm joined as always by my buddy Michael from Nat One Videos. Welcome, mate. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you.
Good. Soon we've got a special guest joining us today. Karl from Karl Makes Stuff will be joining us in just a few minutes. I was unaware of this, that we had some the clocks were changing in Europe today, and both Michael and I know Karl's joining from Europe as well. So uh, we'll get him on here in just a little bit. He's getting his computer set up, and he'll be joining us in just a minute. But we're excited to have him on today. He's got some great builds on his channel, man, and I'm really glad we were able to connect with him, and I'm excited to have him on today.
Yeah, I was about running about half an hour late because I had an afternoon nap
Mm.
and I'd totally forgotten about the clock change. And then my wife woke me up and she's like, "Aren't you supposed to be doing your live stream thing?" And I was like, "What?"
It's easy to do. It's easy to do. Busy weeks. Another awesome week. Was able to catch up. I don't know about you, but I was able to catch up a little bit on some scatter terrain from the week. So that's pretty amazing. When I say catch up, I was able to actually finish and paint the scatter terrain that we'd been crafting over the last month
Yep.
on the channel here. So felt good to complete that and get that situated. What about you? What were you working on this week?
I What have I been working on? Actually, I've been working on your build this week, and I'm
Ah, yes.
on releasing the video on Monday or Tuesday. Or sorry, yeah. I need to stop announcing the days that I'm going to put the videos out because I never make the deadline. But yeah, I've been working on. It's going to be 2-part video. The basement part is the dungeon part, and then the second video will be the top part. So
Oh, nice.
that's what I've been working on this week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that's it's I'm excited to see. You did send me a picture earlier in the week, and I got really excited about it when you lifted the top portion off to reveal underneath. That's gonna be a fun project to tackle. Um,
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if it. See, the certain thing because I'm putting it all together. I'm putting
yeah.
the doors into it before they're painted.
Mm.
So you're going to be having to paint. Hello, Karl. There you go.
Hey, there he is.
Hello, gents.
Hey,
Welcome,
man.
welcome.
How's it going?
Let's see. Let me do a quick little adjustment here, and then we'll get. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the Crazy Crafter. We're live. We got the party started.
Awesome.
Welcome. Where are you joining us from?
From Malta.
Oh, okay. Say again. Where from?
Malta.
Malta.
Central Mediterranean.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you probably have nice weather at the minute then.
It's getting a bit cold, but still pretty sunny, mostly.
Hmm. Yeah. Michael was just telling me that the clocks changed over in Europe right now, so
Yeah.
it definitely switched everything up for the day. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, brother. It's great to have you. Great to finally meet you. Even if it's in a virtual setting here online right now. Although I don't know how it would be in person would be pretty amazing too. That would be even crazier right now. But your channel is super rad, man.
Thanks.
We'd like to start off a little bit about just getting to know you a bit. How long have you been crafting now, my friend?
Oh, it would be around 28 years, I guess
Oh
now.
wow. Okay. 28
But
years.
yeah, I took a long break in between, so I only started again about last year, I think.
Dude, that is a lot. How long was the break? How long did you take a break for?
Uh, let's say about early 2000s, 2003 or
Okay.
4 maybe.
How's um I get how's it been getting back into the hobby? Have you is it something that you missed and you were like I have to get back into it. I have to start crafting.
Uh, kind of, I mean, like, let's put it this way. I stumbled upon Black Magic Craft channel first.
Yes,
And I
yes.
was like, oh wait, I used to do this. And after that, looking around, I mean, like, there's so much more information today and so many more options that was like, yeah, I need to get back into this.
Well,
Jeremy's like the gateway drug.
he is, man. He
It is.
really is. He is, and it's it's great that um it's something that you found it again. That's the cool thing about any hobby, but especially this one. If you put it down, it's always there for you. I've only been crafting same for about you. Listen, the last year and a half since you've gotten back into it is when I'm still new to this world and new to crafting. So it's fantastic. But I've had times where you know I put it down for like a month and I haven't touched anything, and I can it's nice to take a break, but also man I miss it. I miss it when I come back after any hiatus. So it's awesome
Yeah, I
that
know what you mean.
you found it again. And so, um, how long have you had the channel now? Karl Makes Stuff.
That would be January 2019, I think.
Okay, okay. So it's been up there for a bit, and I really enjoy. I started off with this channel as kind of just making some fun videos. I've done a few tutorials, but I am a huge admirer of anyone that does tutorial videos really well, and I really found yours informative and easy to follow, Karl. So
Cheers.
the most recent one that I've seen was the Dwarven scatter terrain that you'd built on the channel, and I thought that was it's just I'm always a huge fan whenever I can find another crafter that can blend. I just feel like the scatter terrain where the rock and everything just comes together and it looks very natural. I haven't really built anything that kind of merges and blends together quite like that. And it's just nice because I know it's you see in the tutorial how you've assembled the different pieces, right? You started off with the cardboard, which you were like, oh, I hope it takes the water, and it did. It worked fine. It was great. And then the it's just fun to see all those layers, and when you blend it together, and it looks it's a very natural looking piece, even though it's manufactured from the foam and the cardboard. So it looked wonderful. How long did that one take you to put together?
Much less than I thought. I mean, like the dwarf head itself just took about 15 minutes.
Isn't that amazing? And that's a carving technique. You picked that up from Michael's
Of
videos.
Mike
Yes,
Chan, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Isn't that amazing? I'd never carved XPS until I'd met Michael either, and he's the one who turned me on to it as
Yeah,
well.
me
I've
neither. That
got
was my first piece.
yeah. Isn't it's pretty amazing how quick and easy it is to put that together. I think I really think I told Michael back when he put it together, I was like, man, that is so cool. Like things that I haven't seen on the tabletop before, Karl, and I really appreciated that build. So I love how the community works too, where one person sees one thing and it inspires someone else, and then next thing you know, here we all are connected and now a resource for each other. It's just again, a community that likes to get together and share information. So
Absolutely. I mean, like way back when I got started. I mean, way back when the internet wasn't a thing yet for another 8 years, I think. So the maximum we get in terms of information resources is maybe a magazine sometime, maybe a book somewhere, but being able to share like this in real time is something I wouldn't have imagined back then.
It's
And
awesome.
yes,
I totally agree with you, Karl. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
it's okay. And it's like we were saying last time when we were talking on Facebook. It's like once you get an idea going and you spread it to X amount of people, they'll start running with it and probably pick it up in ways that you didn't expect, but just keeps growing and growing and growing.
100%. I mean, for me, I loved that build as well that you did this week, Karl. Really enjoyed the video, and I wouldn't have thought to break it down like that and kind of make it all like an old looking thing. It kind of reminded me a little bit of a Black Magic Craft video. He did one with a skull. Have you seen that one where he made some?
Yeah.
Probably, but I can't recall it right now.
Okay, so I mean, like, it's a similar idea of like something really, really old getting blended into the landscape. Sort of.
I think it was the one with the Halloween decoration with the polystyrene skull.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
There you go. It's on the screen now.
Yeah, I've got it up there now for everyone to see, Karl. So you're the first picture here is of his most recent build. I've linked. There's a link to Karl Makes Stuff in the description, but we'll make sure that we link this video as well.
Definitely subscribe to that because I've really been enjoying Karl's videos. So yeah, sure.
Yeah. His channel is up there, but we'll get you a specific link to this dwarven scatter terrain that he put in there. But yeah, the same setup for just the way it's blended in, right? This old ruin. I love the flocking on there. What flocking did you use? Is that a homemade flocking or
homemade?
What did you use to make it? What did you use to make it?
Sawdust. Sawdust and summer green paint.
Oh, nice.
What? Oh.
Okay, I think that one specifically was literally just sawing dust. So it's dust you get with a saw, not when you're sanding.
Right.
Sanding dust is much finer. You can use it, but not in this case. And basically run it through a sieve a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, and what you left with is that basically.
So just on the I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing.
Mm-hmm.
On the top right-hand corner of the ear, it looks like there's a tuft of long grass.
Yeah, that's Army Painter mountain dust.
Right. Okay.
You just blend it when the flock is still wet. You just dig it into the put some glue in it and blend it into the flock.
Oh wow! So you add glue to your to the flock when you're is it in the painting process, or you're talking about when you applied it to the piece of terrain?
When I paint the flock, you mean? No, that basically get a tub of water.
Yeah.
Throw the green paint in. Throw the sawdust in.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a good mix and let it soak in. Then you get everything out, spread it on a piece of baking paper.
Yes.
Hope it's not too windy and pick up what's left.
Okay. So
I think there's a guide to that one. If I'm not mistaken, looks APS, but I might be mistaken.
Huh.
But it's simple. I mean, bucket of water, paint, and dump the sawdust in.
Well, I'm gonna have that's a new one for me. I haven't tried making flocking like that before, so that's gonna be the glue is a surprising component in that mixture to me. That's awesome. I would never have thought of that. That'll definitely help adhere all the finer particles of the sawdust together, and it'll take the paint a little bit more better too. I think as a result, this is really neat.
But just don't add too much of it.
Yeah, like just a little bit. Well, let's go to a next slide here. We've got another another really cool slide here to show you guys. This one is this is the circular piece, Karl, that you sent that has like a little well in the middle. Tell us about this piece. I can see some of that flocking on there, but when you design this piece, what do we got here? This almost looks like, go ahead.
This is literally just a test piece. Basically, it's more about the color on it rather than the piece itself. So I think you can see there about 2 or 3 brownish flagstones in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, that's the only paint I applied on that was a layer of white, a layer of brown on each of those brown flagstones.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it is just a mix of PVA glue and black ink.
Whoa.
So that's something I found by accident when I was doing something else. You know, the traditional Mod Podge and black paint, no?
Yes.
I think everyone knows by now. So I couldn't find my black paint. I said, I wonder what happens if I put if I put black ink instead.
Yeah.
You basically made a wash sealant.
Kind of, except that instead of going black, it will just go green. Now, I'm not sure if it's this particular paint I was using, but I am going to make some more experiments now. I just got some different black ink from a different brand to see if it will react differently. But basically what happens is that the ink breaks down in the PVA glue. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
And the moment you start mixing it with the PVA, it will turn purple.
Huh.
Okay? But once you splash it on, you start painting it on, after a couple of hours, it will go greenish brown.
That's really cool.
I see. So it ends up, the color ends up giving it, it's again, like I said, it reminds me, Karl, very much of the wash, but I love how it seems like the glue is a big part of your process when you're building everything.
Oh yeah,
so forth.
Glue on everything.
Well, it works great as the sealant. It's the great adherent, but I love the fact that you've played around with the ink to find this distorted color, because I was gonna ask, like, how many layers of wash did you put on this, but it sounds like
no wash. It's just the.
It's just this PVA and ink mixture. That's amazing. I've never seen that before, Michael. Have you heard of, I have not used that, nor have I seen it used on the videos yet.
The thing I like most about it, well, not most about it, is that it, in the middle well part, it really is quite dark, and then over the rest it lightens up. But also it gives the rocks a wet look. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like that. So I mean, I've tried to give certain things a wet look before, and what I've had to do is almost paint on a little gloss after. But I think this could be a good technique for giving, like, if you want to make something look like it's been a rainy day or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah. On the other hand, I wouldn't suggest using it as a permanent sealer. So I would still put some kind of varnish on top of it, because remember that PVA glue is deactivated with water. Right. So if you get water in it, or if you store it in a humid place, that's going to start messing up.
The Mod, like, I know that Mod Podge is based in PVA.
Yeah, but it also got a varnish component. I'm not sure which type of varnish exactly, but no, once that sets, you're not going to reactivate it in any way.
Okay, so
not with water anyway.
Because I've been sitting going, it's PVA glue basically. No? Right. Okay, so there you go. I've just learned something there.
In the chat here, Karl, we've got some folks. Amy Root is saying that she's in love with your moss work and the textures that you're creating on the builds.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Daniel West is saying that that entire piece is just over a white base coat, and he's saying that the effect that you've created is it's a great effect, that he really likes it too. Cheers. Yeah, I think
there's a video with the whole process on the channel, but basically it starts off as a white base coat, and there are a couple of stones painted brown and maybe a couple painted gray.
Well,
But the bulk of it was white.
I again agree with how again I was thinking yesterday when I had some I've had some scattered terrain that I've been crafting and building on the live streams here every week, and I finally painted them up and got them completed for the week. And I was like, man, I gotta dry brush, I gotta wash, I gotta do all these different steps. And you, Karl, have created less steps to create the same depth and texture that I'm trying to achieve. So that's fascinating to me, and I'm now gonna have to play around with some inks. I wonder. I don't even know if they have them. I'm heading to a local tabletop store that has supplies later this afternoon. I'm gonna take my son, and I'm gonna see if they have any ink. I don't know if they will. That sounds. What ink do you use? What ink do you use for these builds?
On this one, it was a Pebble Artist's ink. Generally, I buy my paints and my inks from craft shops or art supply stores because you can get them in larger quantities much cheaper. But again, I picked up some Vallejo ink as well, so I'm going to try to see if it gives the same effect.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna have to. I wonder. I have a really thick. It's a black wash. You're talking about Vallejo. I think I have a darker Vallejo wash, but it almost is an ink because it's so dense, and I almost shy away from it. I shy away from this particular. It's. I can't remember who manufactures it, but I almost shy away from it most of the time because it's too powerful, almost like an ink. Like I end up watering that down more often than not, or just using a homemade wash. But
what I suggest if the wash is that strong, what you might want to add is some medium rather than water.
Add what instead of water?
Some medium, acrylic medium.
Oh.
Yeah, I use that a lot. Acrylic medium gel is really good. I use that's what I was saying. I normally would use to get my wet look on top.
But basically, that's acrylic paint without the pigment. So
I see.
It's going to lighten it up, but it's not going to go as runny as it would with water.
Well, that's what I'm going to play with. I'm going to try to create maybe I do a couple, like a larger tile piece like this week and try to recreate that same effect that you're using.
What I usually do is create test pieces for things like that, even if it's just something about this size.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. I don't think it will break up like the ink would, so I'm not sure if with a wash you would get it to break up like this. Because chemically they're different. Washes are much closer to painted than they are to inks, if I remember correctly.
Well, we'll definitely have to find. You said it's on your channel too, and I'm gonna have to. I'm going down the. I know what YouTube channel rabbit hole I'm going down this week. It's gonna be a fun exploration to try this new technique. This is what it's all about, Karl. Sharing new ideas. I'm super I'm thrilled to be learning some new stuff over here today. This is great stuff.
Glad to share.
It's nice to again, that's the whole point. There's more than folks that have been doing this a long time, and you've definitely this is something that you've been enjoying for a number of years. So this is great. Thank you again for coming on and sharing this today. We're gonna go to another slide here, brother. Oh, this is a cool one. This one is the this was recycled. It almost looks. It's like a little tower with the side building to it. Tell us about this one.
Okay, and when is this the Grey Tower?
Yes,
it's not up on the screen yet.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's basically based off a coastal tower that's a couple of miles off from where I live, and it's made from recycled food packaging.
That's awesome. Is there any foam core? Is this all just
No. It's all cardboard.
Nice.
It's about 1 millimeter thick. So the good thing about this is that takes impressions very well. So basically, if you look at all the stonework, that's just pushed in, pressed in with a pen. It's literally drawing the bricks on with a pen.
Awesome.
Okay. The important thing is that you need to remember that you're not just drawing with the ink; you're drawing with the pressure, so that you leave an indentation in the card.
Yeah.
Okay. There is. Sorry. Let's see. I think so. For materials, we've got all of the walls are 1 millimeter thick cardboard. That's from food packaging.
Hmm.
The door handles are a piece of wire and a piece of paper over the top. And there is a bit of corrugated card over the top. You can't see it in this picture, but it's basically at the top of the wall, just to give it some thickness.
Hmm. And that's so that brick texture is all achieved by you drawing it you are imprinting the
Exactly, yes.
the edge into create that brick texture into the cardboard
Exactly.
in the cardstock.
The,
Wow.
the only the only thing that was not done in pen is that are those two separators between the floors.
Yes.
Those are separate layers of card tiles glued onto
I
it.
see. How did you
And
make
the shield is obviously a plastic piece.
Yeah. How did you there's like a little I almost want to say it looks like a gargoyle or a shield right above
Yeah,
the
that's
base
just a plastic shield from a Games Workshop kit.
Nice.
Basically
Nice.
sanded off the back and glued it on.
Perfect. Yeah.
One thing I really liked about this build was I used this to experiment hiding the seams.
Mm.
So sometimes when you're gluing cards together, cardstock,
Oh
you
yeah.
still get the edge of one piece, the seam, and then the rest of the piece.
Yep.
So what I did in this case was I just cut the edges
Mm.
at 45 degrees.
I see.
It's like a miter cut. So when you put them all together, you've got the card facing, and the connection is hidden.
Oh
That's
man.
And it's a lot easier than it sounds.
Yeah.
No, it's just a great idea to hide the seam. Go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say that I've found that fiddly before. Normally, I'm covering my card stock over with bricks or with wood afterwards.
Hmm.
Yeah. In fact, I've got a couple of earlier cardboard builds where I did just that.
Hmm.
For this one, since the original building didn't have those bricks in the corner, I wanted to avoid that. So I ended up doing this instead.
And you said this build was inspired by is this a local tower nearby? You said.
Yeah, I mean, there's a range of about 13. I think there are at least 12 of them still surviving. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, a couple of miles away.
See, this is where I color me all the envy. You have all this amazing architecture that is centuries old. I've got the dilapidated Kmart down the street for architecture in the United States, where we have some really cool architecture, but we are but a young country in comparison. So I'm extremely jealous that you guys have so much architecture to draw upon. That's one of my things whenever I've when my wife and I traveled overseas, and when we stopped in London, just everywhere we went in Europe, it's just like, oh, here's this wall that was built from the Roman Empire that's survived, and a lot of the architecture in London, as I found out, you have to have an archaeological dig site with the construction company in case you come across something that is relevant to the history that you never know what you're going to come across. Hence, kings buried in parking lots, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's amazing. I love the fact that you pulled this from a real life inspirational build, Karl. That's really cool. I love great visuals like that. I'm always on Pinterest, looking for different images, different castle architectures, different types of building architecture from medieval ages. I think there's so many great resources out there, and none better than stuff that's just a jaunt down the street for you to influence the tabletop. It's a great build.
The only thing is that there are some things that are just too large to represent in a scale. I mean, like
Yeah.
where the office where I work, if I have a break and look out of the window, there's a fortified city just across the a creek. So it's like I wish I could build that, but I don't have a large enough building to keep it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, 28 millimeter that would cover a parking lot probably.
Yeah.
If, if you enjoy the building process, so I mean, you can build stuff for the love of building it and then give it away or sell it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think I could fit it through the door.
It will just remain it will remain wherever you build it. That's where it lies. It can't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Make it into a giant jigsaw puzzle.
there,
Yeah, that might work.
there you go. Just like once you build the giant thing, then just get like the portable handheld jigsaw, and then like Michael said, you can cut the jig, and then you can sell it in pieces, and all you have to do is glue it back together. um, What's a great that's another great build. We'll switch to another one here. You've got another awesome piece of terrain that you shared with us. This is a really cool build. I love this is the sci-fi scattered terrain you shared that I think you
Oh
made
yeah,
out
the
of
giant
this is,
space toilet.
yeah from this is this the is this made out of the is this what kind of bottle caps is this is like from plastic containers? What did you make them
Yeah,
from?
it's just a cap from an Adidas body wash cap bottle, sorry,
Awesome.
with some modifications.
What did you use to? What did you modify it? What did you modify?
So not much to be honest. So basically, there is the hinge at the top, which is a piece of electrical wire cut in half,
Oh, okay.
and all those bolts are just a piece of cotton swab which was sliced.
There. Say again. There. What was sliced? Cotton. Is it cotton
Cotton
swabs?
swabs.
Oh, wow. Really? That's a really
Yeah,
good texture for the cotton swab. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yes. Now I've got it, and I can see the where the swab is being used. That's a great. It's really great texture. It picks up. It looks like a rusty old bolt that it's attached on there. It's great.
yeah. So I made this just. I wanted to practice some weathering.
Yep. What did you use to
So
weather it?
these were just a learning experiment. I mean, we've got the chevrons and the stencil on the side. Those were made with painter's tape. So basically, tape it off, spray it. I think I did some salt weathering in there as well on the stencils,
Hmm.
which was interesting. And this was actually the first time I used sponge painting, which I think was fantastic. In fact, I think I've been using it on most of my builds since this one.
So describe the sponge painting for myself and Michael and the viewers. Like what do you when you say sponge painting? What is that process and technique?
So basically, get a kitchen sponge,
Mm-hmm.
rip a piece off, then use the messed up part, pick up some paint,
Mm-hmm.
and you just dab it on. And that creates random patterns on the surface. And it's a lot finer than, since you can control the pressure, it's a lot finer than you could do with a brush and way faster.
Hmm. Well, go ahead, brother.
I was just going to ask Karl, like both. Well, I mean, I'll speak for myself really. For me, I'm mostly making stuff for D&D. You're kind of more into Warhammer, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, like I did play some D&D, I mean, second edition and third edition. That's been a while. But due to time and constraints, it's easier to pick up and play a war game rather than have a long running campaign where 5 to 6 people have to be there at the same time every week. I mean, I used to play a lot when I was back in college and university, but working life is a bit more
Oh
complicated.
yes, that it is. It definitely is. It makes it all the better when you can get together and play. Right? It's the games are a little sweeter, a little bit more enjoyable. That's something that look forward to whenever it is game week.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
the week seems to go just a little bit smoother and a little bit easier sometimes, not all the time. Well, I what did you use? You got a little bit of rust effect on here. I'm always a big. I love playing around with this idea of the rust elements. What did you just sponge on that the little bit of orange and the red to create until you got that desired weathered look on these tops?
No, if I remember correctly, I used the sponge to get the. I think you can see some white dots in there.
Yes.
So basically, let's say that's representing the undercoat. You sponge it on, then with a fine brush, you find the largest pieces of that paint, and then you paint some brown on them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, start with a white circle, then you go on to the brown, then you go back with some black paint,
Mm-hmm.
and then again find only the largest ones, and you do a little black spot in the middle. So
Hmm.
we've got paint, undercoat, rust, and bare metal.
Man, it's so many layers there, Carl. It's just it's small pieces like this, where I feel again scatter terrain is probably one of my favorite things to construct because as far as just the versatility that you get out of it, you can pick and pull it. Like you're talking about, big builds are cool. Big builds are awesome, and I love epic builds. I love big builds. Uh, I love Tabletop Witchcraft's got that giant coliseum that they built a while back. The thing is insane. But then I think about how do you like if you take that if you're traveling to someone's house and you need to pile in a bunch of stuff, scatter terrain's going to be the way to go, right?
Yeah. Besides, again, like I said, this was a practice piece, and I
Mm,
think I picked up most of the techniques I used here from a channel called Night Shift, if I remember correctly. And he does mostly historical miniatures like tanks and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
And I mean, like,
I can see
the
that.
attention to detail is incredible there.
What was the name of the channel, Carl?
If I remember correctly, it was Night Shift.
Night Shift. Okay.
Let me look that up.
Yeah. Well, these are really cool builds. I think they're fantastic. This next one's one of my favorite. I'm a huge fan. I don't know what it is. I guess it's kind of the first piece of terrain I ever bought anyway. Although I bought it from Dwarven
Yeah,
Forge.
the channel is called Night Shift. Yeah.
Night Shift, cool. But your next build here is this awesome bridge. Daniel get a kick out of this one. One of our viewers right now watching the channel. He built a pretty awesome bridge a couple weeks back. Came on and shared it with us. But tell us a little bit about this. This looks like you drawing on the foam here, or is this?
Yeah,
It looks like foam, and it looks like your awesome handwork drawing in all the texture. Is that what you did here with this build, Carl?
exactly. This was actually my first XPS project.
Oh, nice. When did you tackle this project?
I think it was about 2 months ago now. I think I'm not sure,
This is where
but
I joined your channel.
so basically, I hadn't been able to find any XPS here because you just didn't find it here.
Mm.
But I managed to get hold of a sheet, and I was like, yes, which I did. And artists like this are one of the things that I couldn't build with. I couldn't build properly with card or with foam board, so I had to go with this. Again, most of the greens and the browns you see at the bottom, again, that's sponge work again.
Mm. Yeah, that weathered kind of mossy, dirty look
Yeah.
to it looks great. I love it. Well, for your first XPS project, bravo! It looks amazing.
Thanks.
It looks fantastic, and I'm also a huge fan. The more and more I think about, like, I like the ruined look. I love like ruins. Ruins are some of my favorite pieces of terrain that I've come across in video builds that I've enjoyed. It's just fun to create that weathered look. There's just more texture to it, which is what I'm going to try to do today with our bin build, which we'll get to here in a little bit. I'm going to try to do a little bit of weathered, dilapidated work for that. But this looks great. I like the scale of this too, Karl. This is a good scale on this one.
Yeah, I want to try something large.
Yeah, it came out great.
Daniel came into the chat there, Colin, just to say, love it. The mossy discoloration at the bottom is really nice. I'm a sucker for a good bridge.
Thank you, Mr. West.
Yeah, I think we're all a sucker for a good bridge. And this is no exception. This is a fantastic build. It's a lot of fun, Karl. This is one of my favorite parts. This is my favorite part. It's why I'm doing the channel is connecting with other members of the community, and then also getting to hear your techniques. Right, we get to pick your brain, someone who's been doing this for a long time now, and this has been fantastic, Karl. I think I don't know if you've seen his latest build video, but we'll move over into Michael's build from this last week that he released, his Skyrim build. Like, now that it's a completed project and it's made it to its final stage. I know it was a chore, Michael, to get to this one, but tell us a little bit about this build that was inspired by Skyrim.
That was like 2 weeks of absolute hell, basically.
Why was it hell?
So I did so many mistakes, and it was a big learning curve. So yeah, like, I mean, I knew I'd get there in the end. But the best thing about all of these projects, I think, is that if something goes wrong, like the paint job goes wrong, you just base coat it again and you can paint it again.
Right.
But when epoxy resin goes wrong, it's a real pain in the butt. So
I remember you saying that you had a resin issue last week. What happened with the resin?
So can you see that middle stone that's in the water?
I moved. We see it up there now. It's up there.
Yeah. So basically, that's stuck in the resin, and I stuck it to the bottom of the base and then poured the resin. But either the glue disintegrated or it floated and detached, and so it floated off to the side. And when I got there in the morning, it was rock solid in the completely wrong place. Then I had to cut it all out, and that
was a very good recovery, though.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing about epoxy. Is the one thing that I enjoyed, and the best thing from the learning process was epoxy is actually quite forgiving whenever you cut it out. If you pour some more epoxy in, it really fills in the gaps, and you can almost basically eradicate any sort of discoloration. So yeah, it was a relief to get that one back on. Yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed the build, but I was very, very glad to finish the build. Yeah.
Have you worked with the epoxy or resin at all in your builds? I know you had some water in the middle there, Karl, of that circular piece of terrain we were looking at earlier. What have you used for water in your builds?
And that one in particular, it was just the same mix. But again, it was a test piece. I just dumped it in there to see if it would work. It didn't, by the way. And for other pieces, I used just some regular epoxy. Again, epoxy resin. But it was a much simpler pour than this one. I mean, like, got some bulk pieces with some junk and stuff thrown in there. But again, that was a relatively simple pour.
Now, I gotta scroll back through here. Forgive me, I'm scrolling on through.
Yeah, I don't mind, Colin. If you don't have to go put mine up too much. Like this.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to talk about, again. It's the project when, so moving forward. if someone was going to work with that epoxy and to avoid that misstep that you had, Michael, what would be the adjustment for them so that it doesn't float off on them like that?
Maybe I would have put some like sticks, like put some sticks up into the base, and then put that stick down into the XPS foam just to make it really secure and glue it. Although no one told me yet.
I think what you did with the treating with the islanding, if I remember correctly, that you actually pinned the tree. I'm sorry, pinned the tree in place with 2 sticks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked here as well.
Yeah.
Okay, if it floated off, breaking free of the glue, there's a good chance that it would also have floated off with a stick, because the epoxy is pushing it up.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the problem, is that the XPS floats really well.
So I think the best solution would be what you did to do what you did with the tree and literally pin it in place, but just put something to hold it down.
And is that what you did with this build for Shirley from the Skyrim group here, Michael?
Yeah, it is. I basically built a little kind of scaffolding structure around it, just to hold it down over the branches. But weirdly, because I made this one after the mistake, you see. So I'd learned the lesson. So this one, I had no problems with it, although I did get some discoloration with my epoxy. Seemed to discolor the paint that I put on the island underneath the epoxy, kind of this gray, cloudy color, which I kind of got away with because you can use your imagination and imagine that it's some kind of seaweed or scum or kind of some stuff that you would get inside the water. But it wasn't what I was trying to achieve. So yeah, you have to roll.
It still looks very natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a question: How long did you leave it to dry before you poured in the epoxy?
The paint, probably not long enough. In fact, actually, I'm quite an impatient crafter. So basically, the majority of my paint that I do, I blow dry with a hairdryer, and then if it's touch dry, I just carry on.
Yeah, with resin you have to be a bit more careful because it reacts to quite a lot of things. What I would suggest is, apart from leaving it to dry longer, maybe put a little varnish or sealer on the paint before you put in the resin.
Yep.
Again, make a test piece first to make sure that the sealer doesn't take to the resin, because some of them do.
Would that be just like maybe just a clear Mod Podge or just the base Mod Podge on its own?
I prefer to use sprays for this because there's no risk of disturbing the paint with the brush. I mean, especially if you're using very thin layers, as soon as you start brushing off, some of the layers will start coming off. I prefer to use paint for that.
That's really cool. Thank you, man. I'm going to get some of that. That's for sure a great tip.
Yep. Lots of pearls are being shot out by Karl today. Pearls of wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. So the nice thing is, you'll be able to come. Everyone can come back and they'll be able to pick up all these little tidbits once the recording's posted. So, well, this is a really good build, Michael. I think it's anytime we get to push our limits as crafters and try something new that we've never done before is always thrilling. And then when it, just like any other hobby or any other skill or craft, you're gonna have some failures or flops, and it's all stuff we can pick up and learn from. And this has been great. So hopefully someone out there, when they start messing around with the epoxy and the resin compositions, they can put it together. Maybe you'll save someone a little bit of heartache now, Michael.
That's why we included the mistakes.
Yeah.
It would be quite easy with the power of video editing to make it look really good, like I would do a really perfect build.
Yeah.
That doesn't help anybody.
I like the embrace of the learning curve, and also sharing any missteps. Like I feel like Jeremy's done a really good job with that, of just showing like this worked out terribly, and now that this is flopped, what do I do with it? What can it be? Because just because it's, I remember when that first happened, you were like, this is ruined, and it's just like in the moment it's terrible, but then you take a step back from it and you can go, no, it's not. What the build isn't done. Like you can always salvage it and move on and piece it back together. So yeah, it's great.
Before we moved on from Karl's builds, before I had a few questions to ask about
Please.
Something else that he didn't send any photos for is one of the stuff that I've been enjoying on your channel, Karl, is your sculpting ability for like your miniature, like I think you use green stuff or milliput.
Milliput, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, man, that's a different skill altogether. Like carving is when you're taking something away, but with the sculpting, you're kind of adding and then taking away. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really, really cool. I like that a lot.
On the other hand, I think it's a lot more forgiving than sculpting, than carving. Sorry.
Because you can put stuff back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's annoying. Yeah, I mean, like you've been building something and then okay, I'll take a little bit off and boom, off goes an arm. But you can also always set it back. You don't have a limitation. I mean, like if you're wood carving, if a piece is gone, it's gone. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've made a lot of mistakes with that as well.
Yeah, that's something else like the milliput. I've one of my favorite builds that I have is this tower that's sitting in my room over here of it's just an old recycled. It's actually a whiskey whiskey container cut in half of Oban whiskey, and then I wrapped it with some Das clay with then textured it with one of the foam rollers for the stone. I like the ability to. I want to do more clay work, and I also like the weight. I don't. Does milliput, when it dries hard, does it give a little heavier weight to the piece as well?
Not particularly. I mean, I think it would be the equivalent of the same size plastic model.
I see. Well,
I mean, I do put some weights in the bases sometimes, so they don't tip over, for example, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I like a little bit more weight to the terrain now. I'm trying to find ways to add some of that weight through, whether it's washers or a little bit of like a nut tucked away in the foam. The weight on the tabletop, I don't know, it feels nice. I like that weight. Well, this is some really good builds. I almost am like, not embarrassed is the wrong word, but like, there's my tabletop terrain. But it's just it feels really good to have a bunch more scatter actually painted up. Lucas Upright, who is another crafter who was on the channel a few weeks back, showed me his new technique where he takes the blunt end of the Olfa knife here, Karl, and he like digs out some of the texture to create some of the more natural formations in the rock, but painted up here over on the right hand side. Finally, Lucas, they look pretty good.
See them.
Yeah, they came up pretty good. Along with this is. Go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
Great. Those look great.
Yeah, the first one you can see, that's the one where you were like, try carving on the corner, but that first one that I carved on the flat side still came out pretty good. Not too shabby, but some more cool dwarven terrain and scatter abound. All right, so now, thank you all for sharing your amazing builds from the week and all of your amazing technique. Now we're gonna move on to the main event, as it were, which is one of my favorite things to do on the show, which is this bin build challenge, which is totally inspired by one of our viewers right now, Amy Root. She was talking about a while back how she just loved people like as a crafter, like if she doesn't have any of the materials, what could I craft with around my house? And I was like, that's such a great idea. And as crafters, or anyone who's looking to getting into crafting, you don't have to have access to XPS foam. We have lots of crafting materials around us all the time that can be manipulated, right? We have tons of cardboard laying around, right? Cardboard is accessible and it's everywhere for us. We've got packages around, and this stuff is great. Like you saw, Karl has built that entire tower out of cardstock from used food packaging. So there's tons of stuff you can build with, and this challenge isn't so much. It's focused around what can we create and have fun with in a short period of time. Even if we don't finish it, what can we make? I always enjoy challenging myself, and I think last week's the first time we tried this, Karl, and we gave ourselves about 40 minutes to do this, and now we're giving ourselves an hour. So
40 minutes from painting, from crafting to painting, you mean?
Yes, from beginning to completed paint. And Daniel, Michael, and I were like, whoa, it was a challenge indeed. But even if we don't build stuff, like I've been on the live stream beforehand trying to do the same thing. I'm gonna try to build something this entire stream, and I haven't finished stuff before, so it's all good. But I thought it'd be fun since we're in the spooky season, and Halloween is coming up next week. I wanted to try to see what we could do with monsters and see what we could craft and what monsters we could create this week. So, have you got an idea of what what you want to build today, Karl, or are you what you thinking?
Not really. I mean, I've got my materials ready, and I'll see where it goes.
Nice, I love it. Oh, so he's gonna see where it goes. Now I know. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because you were mentioning about not having. Basically, luckily, my bin is full of XPS.
Yes.
So still XPS foam anyway, because like I've just got a bin full of like corners and edges. So maybe I'm cheating a little bit.
No, you're not cheating, because I created gravestones last week, and what do I have? I have a ton of like corners and stuff too. So I have the same thought. What are you planning on making over there?
I'm thinking I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while anyway, and I keep putting off because it's just one of those builds that you put off, which is a stone golem.
Nice.
Black Magic Craft kind of thing. I don't know if you watched his.
I've watched it. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm gonna. But I know exactly the one you're talking about, and I'm gonna try to craft the same thing.
So, Karl, you look like you've got some from miniatures. Is that from?
Yeah. I think I have a lifetime supply of these.
Dude, so you're creating that's the primary material for you today?
That's right.
Exciting. See, that's gonna take paint really well. That's gonna be nice and easy to paint up real quick.
And since it's a 1 hour build, liquid poly, because I don't think anything else would be up and strong enough in time.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Daniel says he's playing along. Daniel, what are you gonna craft? Tell him to
join the chat.
Huh?
Tell him to join the chat.
Oh, he can. Daniel, I'll send you the link here, brother. I'll send it to you right now, and then you can join the chat, my friend. It's coming to you. Join up for the build. Let me get here. So with that, we can get crafty. You guys can start. He says we'll see. It's gonna be great. Let me grab this. Copy this. Copy, sending it to you right now, buddy. If you want to join, here it is. Boom. All right.
It might be the chat might slow down a little bit because we're all concentrating on our builds, but like I want to. Once Daniel gets in, I'm sure we'll have a float of conversation. But Karl, on your channel, you also have some other friends. There's a guy that I've been chatting with on your videos, and now I got into his channel through your channel called Earthman Brick.
Earthman Brick, huh?
Oh yeah, great guy.
Do you know, like, so is he a friend of yours, or did you just meet him on YouTube?
Say again, sorry.
Is he a good friend of yours, or did you just meet him on YouTube?
We just met through YouTube, so I don't know him very well, but so far he's been an absolutely great guy.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Fun to talk to. Had some. We did a couple of sculpting challenges together. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what I love is beforehand. YouTube before has never really been a, what's the word? You know, the way on Facebook you talk to people and stuff like that.
Yep.
I never really did that on YouTube before, but more and more recently, I just get into conversations in people's comment sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. Like, it's actually quite a cool place to.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it's interesting. I mean, like, I don't think I've entered any particular conversations with people in other domains, like for on any other type of channel.
Yeah.
And where is this just on the channel, Michael? You're talking specifically with the comments.
Yes. So basically, I mean, Karl and I have spoken often over the last month or two in different videos that we've both done, just asking each other about techniques or just talking about things. Like whenever I posted up, I made a little video of a tree tutorial, and Karl came in with some really good points, and we got chatting, and then he sent me a video of one of his builds in there. Which he used straws to achieve a very similar thing, and I was like, "Wow, that's actually really, really cool," and it's a good use of the straws as well. Yeah, so we've just been chatting since then. That's been a really cool way to connect with other crafters, other ideas. It's been awesome.
Yeah, that's it's amazing how many different facets that we have available to us to connect, and I'm constantly excited at the fact that you know, we have. I'm always amazed at how extensive this community is, and it's great.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, Karl.
No, I said you're right. It's surprising how many people are involved of this stuff.
Now, go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to ask Karl. I mean, we both talked about our favorite crafting channels quite a lot. What would you say your favorite go-to crafting channels are, Karl, for getting, you know, good information?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like I said, Black Magic Craft always comes up with some nice ideas, and I also really like his thinking process. Luke's APS, brilliant guy.
Yeah, Luke builds, or what's the name of Luke builds things, or?
I think he's changed it to Gig Gaming Scenics now. That's the name of his business.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I saw.
But one thing I love about that channel in particular is that, you know, since he does this professionally, he crafts professionally,
yeah,
he's going to take basically, if there's a shortcut to be found, he's going to find it.
Oh yeah, I've got so many techniques of Luke APS.
And the thing is that the quality is still up there, you know, because obviously if he made terrible products, no one would buy them. So still goes for quality, but then if there's a way to shave off a second, he's going to do that, which is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, learned a lot of that channel.
I loved. He did a breakdown of what do you call it? Static grass blocking machines.
Yeah.
And that basically, that off the back of that video, I'm now saving to try and get a static grass applicator. But like I'm working on a serious budget at the minute, but I really want to get after seeing that. I want to get a static grass applicator for sure.
Static grass applicator. That sounds like something to add to the Amazon wish list for me.
To be honest,
What does that do?
You know the way, like if you add the grass blocking, it just kind of often lies flat into the paint or the ink, or sorry, into the paint or the glue. Well, a static grass applicator means that the grass will stand up like it's real grass. So like just the tips of it will go into the glue, and then it just looks like real grass.
Oh wow.
It looks so good.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
it does look great. Thing is that I'm still a bit skeptical about static grass. It's nice in if I had to use it, I'd probably put it in places where you're not going to put any models on. But then again, I'm mostly a war gamer, not a role-playing gamer. And one thing about war gamers is that from experience, most of the ones I know, including myself, tend to be a bit rough with terrain. I mean, they're not throwing it off tables or stuff, but I tend to be a bit rougher than an RPG where you're going, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's it.
Now, how big is your Warhammer mini collection, Karl?
I have no idea, to be honest, and mostly it's unpainted.
That was going to be my next question. Was how much of it?
In fact, I don't. I really shouldn't be building any more models. I should be painting the ones I have.
I've no
In fact,
say a lot. Got a lot.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
that sounds like most of my Warhammer friends. I know I had a buddy that had we played D&D with. Buddy Chris was into Warhammer when we were in high school, and I think he painted it though. I'll have to double check, but he for sure like keeping that army up to trying to keep it up to snuff and painted. He's talked about it before. He's like, it's just insanely difficult to do because there's so many. I keep thinking I just want to I wish I had the more funds. I would buy it just to paint it. It looks like such a fun thing to paint.
I've been thinking of getting into Warhammer since just watching people on Tabletop Crafters Guild and stuff. I've been thinking, wow, I would really enjoy that, especially because I'm a massive Tolkien fan and Middle Earth, and there's a whole Warhammer scene that's into Tolkien and Middle Earth games.
Then again, what you might want to be looking at is the Games Workshop Lord of the Rings game, which is specifically for that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if you had to go into Warhammer now, I think they're moving away from the Tolkien stuff quite a bit, because even if you look at the latest models, I think the aesthetic changed completely from back when I started.
Right.
The production quality is great, but I just don't. I'm not a fan of that kind of aesthetic.
See, this is a different taste. I love that kind of aesthetic. I mean, I'm actually, one of my builds coming up soon is. I mean, are you a fan of Tolkien at all, Karl, or not really?
He must be joking.
So it sounds like he's a fan.
I am a big fan. Yeah.
Build that I want to come up is a Tolkien-based theme. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm going to do a Tolkien build very, very soon. So.
Ooh, nice. Sounds great.
I've actually got one I almost considered doing today as this challenge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. But I actually just want to do that. I really, a proper job with that. So, right, I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So no word of Daniel joining us.
Oh, he's messaged his Wi-Fi in the garage is is sketchy today, but he's gonna send us pictures of the build. He said he's building along with us here. So.
Cool.
So where are you at in your build right now, Karl? How's it coming along?
So far, I've got this. How does this work? Not sure if it can focus, but part of the torso, I guess.
Yep.
And a bit of the spine.
Yep. Love it.
I'll have to send you a clearer picture later because I don't think this camera is meant to pick up anything this small.
Well, that's okay. Like you could totally send pictures of it later, 100%. And again, it's whatever we get to today. Like, it's wherever we get to at the end of this next hour, right? Which is really not this next hour. We only have probably about 45 minutes left because we want to stop and talk about the builds a little bit about the end of the day too.
Yeah.
So
it's a change of pace because usually it takes me days to get something done.
Right, isn't that kind of crazy? Like it's definitely fun to sit down. I know. I'm very fortunate to have so many. Before the pandemic, I had friends over crafting. When we'd be playing our have D&D nights. Sometimes folks would come over early. We'd be painting. We'd be crafting. But I also have my next door neighbor is a buddy that I play with, and he's a huge painter and crafter. Well, now he would say probably painter, but now he's crafting now too. And he's come over and he's just like, what do I have? Like, and he's grabbed just like spare pieces of foam before, and he's what can I craft in a short period of time? He's come up with some cool stuff. I'll have to send you a bridge that he made a while back. That it was just out of cardboard, basically like little cardstock and some spare XPS foam, where he made this kind of suspended chain bridge. So it was pretty cool. Like, it's amazing what you can accomplish in such a short period of time. You can do quite a bit if if the time pressure is right and you're on there hanging out. But it goes by quick. It
does. Yeah.
When you're hanging out crafting with other folks, that's the best time, man. Hanging out with good folks and chilling. A bridge, you say? Yes, it is a bridge. Have you not seen it, Daniel? I'll have to show you Chris Fort's bridge. It's all right. Might and Magic is pretty good. He's a pretty good crafter. He's slowly becoming next level. What happened? What'd you mess up? Did you mess it up?
I cut my thumb.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Our first injury. That's our first injury on the stream. No.
I'm gonna run and get a plaster.
Yeah. Go. Please take your time. Oh man, that's the other thing. If you are crafting at home, safety first, please. Right? Make sure you take your time. Crafting accidents do happen. It is a sharp blade that we tend to use. I'm using my Ulfa knife, and I changed out the blade today, and I'm like, whoo, it's definitely sharp. That's for sure. So,
it comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How careful you are. At some point, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen for sure. Workers' comp. Oh my gosh, stop it. I take back everything I said about your bridge. Your bridge is haphazard.
Glue it. I super glue my hand back together.
Are you really using super glue?
Oh yeah.
Is it that bad of a cut?
No, but then you can use it for a big bad cut. You can use it for a little cut.
That's true. I've used it for both. Oh my goodness, too funny. Well, I'm glad it's a little cut, and I'm glad it's going to be okay. Let's see. All right, so I'm trying to get my torso here. Trying to get my torso going here, and then maybe a leg, of some sort that I can jetty out. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm trying to get the leg going. This is definitely going to be. Man, I don't know. I felt pretty good about last week's This week? I don't know. We'll have to see. It's early yet. It's early. Let's see if I can create another leg.
Yes.
My wife gave me my carving gloves before I came on the stream, and I just like, I don't know, I just wasn't paying attention there, and I just slipped.
It happens. I've done that. I've done it before. You gotta honor that blade. Is that with your carving knife?
Yeah, it's so.
Yeah.
It's just like a little flip, and you got a big.
Oy. So Karl, on an average basis, how many hours a week do you get to spend crafting?
On a good week, maybe I can get in a couple of 1 hour sessions.
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
Yeah. On the other hand, for example, for the dwarf scatter terrain, that was more like about 16, 20-minute sessions. It's like boom, 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 boom. So do a tilting, leave it to dry, do something else, come back in 8 hours, do something else. So no, actually, I think it took much less than that. But it was literally in short chunks.
See, that's good. See, that's a good disciplined way to break it down. Just like the short chunks and whittle away at it here and there, just little by little. It's a great way.
Yeah, and if you plan it out, like you've got you're going to do something that has a certain amount of drying time. That's much easier.
Yep. Or if you're Michael or I, you bust out the hairdryer, which is right here on standby. I don't know if I make it to paint today. I'm gonna try.
I don't think I'm gonna make it to paint today.
I'm gonna try to make it to paint today, but I don't know. We'll see.
I want to
I do own a hair dryer pretty much for the same reason, but I prefer not to use it much. It's not like I have any other use for it. But yeah, I think I prefer the. Hi.
Hey, did I show up? I couldn't resist.
You're here. Here you are. Welcome.
I reset the Wi-Fi router, and I was like, I gotta try to come in because like the highlight of my Sundays. So,
well, welcome to the bin build, Karl. This is a buddy of ours, Daniel West, who is
nice to meet you.
He's the unofficial official producer of this live stream, by the way. So.
Yeah, sure, I'll accept that. I like that.
What do you?
Yeah, and your builds are beautiful, Karl.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah. I think for me, Daniel, the whole ink and PVA kind of blew my mind today. That's something that it's a technique that I hadn't thought of before. So
yeah, and again, that was an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a good discovery.
It's a good, a happy accident indeed, Karl.
Yep.
Nice. Are you back? Let me see. Is it the thumb?
No, I need a glue stick. I left. I did things in a hurry today, so.
No one else is allowed to cut their thumb on today's stream. No one else is allowed to cut their thumb.
Zero promises. I will do my best.
What are you trying to build over there, Daniel?
So I'm gonna try something organic, which I think is a big ask for like the time frame.
Okay.
I am working on seeing if I can make like a giant bat of some kind, or like a giant bat monstrosity thing.
A giant bat monstrosity. That is a bold move. I love it.
We will see. So right now I've got a block of XPS, like, so I've shaped out sort of like the whole, like the torso-y portion of a body possibly.
Yeah.
And now I've got one big, inch thick piece of XPS that I'm sort of slowly forming into a single wing shape. And I'm using just a piece of really coarse sandpaper that I'm sort of curving to get my different radii that I go and working that across.
I like
and
that.
then the goal will be to, once I get the big rough shape done, to slice this in half and then put the individual sort of like curvature of the flaps in. We'll see. I'm gonna be like the big risk, like major fail guy on the stream today. I think that's the.
But that's okay, because no matter what, it's gonna be the start of a pretty awesome project. So
yeah.
it'll find its way to fruition one way or another. It will be built.
And do you mind me asking Karl some questions?
Oh, please ask away.
Tell me.
So I noticed that you've got both sort of sci-fi builds and fantasy builds, and it's from a wargaming standpoint. So are you doing both 40K and Age of Sigmar? And
I don't play Age of Sigmar. I think I dropped Warhammer around 7th edition, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's like I said, I'm not really a big fan of the aesthetics of Age of Sigmar.
Oh, okay.
On the other hand, I do have a bit of a 40K collection, Blood Angels. So eventually, I would like to have to paint them up eventually.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Resetting the router or something.
Mostly, I think I mostly play skirmish war games, so it's like Mordheim and Necromunda. They're old, but still going strong.
Have you ever played any Frostgrave?
Yeah, and Rangers of Shadow Deep. That's quite nice.
Fantastic.
Rangers, I just think it's a bit more cooperative than Frostgrave.
I've never played a single game of Warhammer, and it seems like, is it a similar mechanics to D&D?
Not really. No, I mean
you're rolling a lot of dice. You gotta love statistics. You gotta love data sheets to get into that game.
So it's less. Is you saying it's less? So lots of data sheets, and you're not rolling dice.
Again, sorry.
You're rolling them by the bucket. You're rolling them by the bucket full.
Let's put it this way: 40 dice at a time is not unusual.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, maybe it's not a game for me then. It's a lot of content. You only use D6 dice, don't you?
Say again.
What's that?
You only use D6 dice. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's no D12s, no D20s.
Oh man.
There used to be in 3rd edition Warhammer, but they streamlined it down way back. We're talking something like the mid 90s.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm one of these days. I wonder if Chris Martin, if you're watching the stream, or if you watch today's stream, you're gonna have to. I wonder, do you still have all your 40K army? Because maybe we'll have to try that out one of these days when we're able to try some 40K out. Roll our buckets of D6s everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna try and take this rock and carve out a little bit of a face here in the front of this. So I'm gonna try to carve out a face up in the front here for it to be the head to sit on top of my stone golem. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
How's it going on your end, Karl? Where are you at now with yours? Now, do you have you don't have to reveal if you don't want to, but do you have
I'm not sure if it's visible.
Let's see.
Got some legs going and.
Oh yeah, you do. You've got the monster happening. This is great.
So I'm just going to leave that to set for a second, and
that's kind of where I'm at with mine too, Karl. I've got my legs right here. He's got short stubby. He's gonna have some stubby legs. He's gonna have
Nice.
some stubby legs with his disproportionate. But he's a stone golem. It's gonna be okay, right? So we'll see. We'll see how he turns out. I'm working on the head right now, so see how that turns out.
My hot glue is like just burning my XPS foam.
What's burning it?
My hot glue is too hot, and it's burning my XPS foam, so I'm having to hold it together extra long for it to glue.
Ah, yes. The plights of the crafters. Man. So, is there, what's the next build for the channel, Karl? What's the next project you got going on? Or if you want...
So, this week I'll be painting up the sculpt I did for the challenge with the other guys, the Halloween challenge.
Oh, nice.
So this week I'll be painting that up. After that, I have no idea. Something will come up. Something always does.
It always does. It always does. There's plenty to do. There's plenty to do. I keep telling I wanna get into some. I have a bunch of minis that I need to paint, but I've got to start focusing on a commission for a build coming up that it'll turn into a video. It'll be a project video that I'll end up throwing together. It's going to be a while for the channel. But every now and again I'll throw up a little project video that comes along. But I got commissioned to build a map for an upcoming module.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. And it's being written. One of my buddies that I went to college with writes part-times for RPG tabletops, and this one, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember desperately the name of it. I'll have to look it up here. But basically get to build a little diorama of kind of a Main Street city, USA, and the whole thing is like the town is under enchantment from this monster, so it looks normal with slight things out of place that the characters that are playing might pick up on. So it is for, oh my goodness, it is for Rifts Savage Worlds American Armageddon. That is the name of the tabletop. But that's going to be a fun project.
Which kind of era is this set in?
So it's kind of, at least for the build, it's kind of like a post World War II-esque, like steampunk sci-fi mixture, but the town needs to be like a small Missouri town in the mid 60s. So it's got some specific stuff that'll lend itself to that, and I went over with him about the specific architecture. He has like a build descriptions for different buildings and stuff that he wants in games, so that'll be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to trying to recreate that and make it happen. So
I'm looking forward to see that. It sounds really interesting.
That'll be a fun one. I'm excited to bring that one to life. Daniel got really quiet over there. He's in bat mode.
Well, I muted myself because I realized the sound of me going on foam is probably not the most appealing thing for your thing, but your stream. But do you have an idea of what the scope of that project is, as far as how many buildings you're going to be generating for your Missouri?
It's a lot. It's like, I believe, probably like 10, and it's a smaller scale. So we were talking about certain scale, and originally it was going to be 8.5 by 11, and I was like, that's really small. That's going to be really tiny. And then I
Oh,
think
like 10 buildings on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
yeah, like it would have to be like it would have to be tiny, right? So we ended up shifting. I think I'm gonna move it to like whatever the size of a dollar store foam core board is.
It's a 20 by 30, I think.
Yeah. Still pretty small for as big as it's going to be, but again, it's just to give an idea in the essence, and I'm going to try to get it as detailed as I can. But it's got like a little creek running through it. It's good that you guys, Karl and Michael were talking about the water effects. I saw someone else recently talk about and post. I can't remember if it was a post. I think it was a post on the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Excuse me. This week, where they took clear Elmer's glue and just used that as the water for a shallow creek effect. And I was just like, oh, that's going to be a simple and cheap solution for water, like using the clear Elmer's glue. So I know we got Nether Creature in here too, who is hanging out with us. So if anyone has a better idea on small, shallow effects of water and how to
there's another way to do it with toilet paper and Elmer's glue or PVA glue.
Oh yeah.
It's the old. I think it's an old train modeling thing.
Yep. I think you're right. That is a good idea and a good solution as well. I definitely am. I'm excited at the option of trying to. It's a cool build in the sense that I've never done anything quite like this scale before.
We'll need to leave the table for a second. Be right back.
Yeah, go for it. So it'll be a fun build to try to assemble and put together for a new RPG that's coming to life. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's great. And so I'm assuming at that scale. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Michael, go.
Daniel, I can come back. That's fine.
Oh, just gonna say, I'm assuming at that scale, you're just doing exteriors, right? These are not insides and outsides for these buildings.
Correct. Just exteriors. So, but there's lots of tiny little stuff that can be done in place for the build. So, like the exteriors are. I'm gonna try to do it as detailed as I can. It's gonna be. We'll see. But I definitely I want to I definitely want to knock it out of the park is what I want to do. But there's always the main issue of like time, like how much time do you have, So and in this one I don't have a ton of time, but we'll make it happen.
A second ago, you said that we got Nether Creatures in there.
Yeah, Nether Creature's here.
That's cool. Yeah, we should get him on the channel soon. I think.
I'd love to have Nether Creature on. That would be amazing. Nether Creature, when are you coming on the show, bro? When are you coming on the show? When are you coming and crafting with us? Nether Creature said he was crafting with us right now too, so this is great. A little by little, the army of crafters grows. Yeah, it's like, again, what if anything else, like being able to just come on, like you said, Karl, if you're lucky, you can span together a little bit of time here and there, and it is a big time commitment to devote, a couple hours to the stream and coming on and hanging out, but that's my hope, is that anyone who comes on, you just get to come on, hang out, share drop some cool knowledge with us, share your passion, and then also get to have a little fun crafting too, because we don't get enough of it. So tis busy times right now. Yeah, I'm really excited. I just came up with my I created like a little mouth for my golem. I'll just have to show it to you guys. Pretty cool mouth build. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's coming along. All right, let's try to assemble a body and a head here. Do I want that way or this way? Probably this way. Oh man, I'm gonna have to create some flat feet for this dude. This stone golem is gonna be wild. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. We'll have to see. Okay, let's do that. Gluing it. Making a choice.
Everyone's deeply concentrating, right?
Yeah, they are deeply concentrating. That's all right. Nothing wrong with little concentration on the task at hand. What about you, Michael? What's well, I know you're working on the build, my build that you're gonna send out towards me, but is that's not the video for next week? What's gonna be the video for next week?
It is the video for next week. So yeah, originally I was going to be launching it tomorrow, but I'm going to not manage to make that deadline. So I reckon I'll probably get it out on Tuesday or Wednesday, the video.
Okay, cool.
I'm working on I'm working on your build, man. I'm going to do it in a two or three part thing because there's obviously there's the two different levels to it. So
yep.
The minute I'm working on the dungeon part. So yep, hoping the dungeon part. I mean, I am going to stay up tonight and have a go at it tonight. If I manage to put it together tonight, it'll be up tomorrow. If not, it'll be up on Tuesday or Wednesday. So
nice. I just chuckled right now because I tried to make my stone golem stand, and he is not standing. I will have to make some feet. I thought I'd have to make some feet for him anyway, so we'll do that. Oh my goodness. This build is on the way. We are at 11:39, gentlemen. So we've got probably another 15 minutes left in the build.
Okay.
15 minutes.
Definitely not getting it painted today.
I'm not getting mine painted today either.
Yeah, no way.
That's all good. How's yours coming along there, Karl? Let's see an update on yours.
1 second.
Yeah, after your glue there. I knew I would ask at the opportune moment. Like right as you're gluing, you're like, I can't right now. Have this.
So it's got legs. Doesn't seem to be very sure about using them, but it's getting somewhere.
Yes, I love it. And this is all out of the. This is all out of the. What is that? The spare plastic from all the things that you pull apart to paint. Yep.
I mean, given some fire and maybe some, you can twist it into some pretty cool shapes. But right now, I'm just trying to get a bulk, and the glue is not cooperating.
Yeah, this is perfect. I've taken your perfect Sunday afternoon of crafting, and instead of letting you paint your army, I'm making you make monsters out of recycled stuff. So you're welcome. Oh man. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm just like beveling edges. What am I doing? What am I doing?
It's far too hot today. It's just I've got a bit of a mess on my hands right now.
Let me see. What are you at? What do you got?
I'll see you in a second here.
I love it. I love it. That looks awesome. That looks
I love
great.
that head.
I do too. I love that head too. The head looks awesome. Looks so good. It looks
Obviously,
so good.
Dad, so you've seen Frozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like no monster from Frozen.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Those are perfect. That's a perfect. That's what I want to play around with more today. I want to see if like I didn't bring it in because I think somewhere deep down inside I knew I wasn't going to be painting by the end of this process, because like creating a monster in a short period of time, like that's going to be a challenge. But I definitely want to play around with like the Vallejo mud texture that I have, or creating more texture on like the build instead of just XPS or whatever. I think adding a little bit of that extra texture will make it a little bit more fascinating or interesting. I think that like my dirty, grimy, muddy stone golem, right? He's got, you know, he's been around. The stone golem's been around. It's not just perfectly made out of stone. I wanted to add like little grass tufts to him too, but that'll be a finished product for another day, I think. Although I'm gonna try to. I think I can get him built. I think I can get him like assembled, pretty much how I would want him. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm not happy with mine.
Oh. He wasn't worth slicing your thumb up over.
Yeah. He's definitely not coming out the way I imagined him in my head, for sure.
Oh. Well, that's okay. This is also the first time we've ever built one like this too, right? We've never done it before. So, and this is like take some stuff and craft. So it definitely is not haphazard, but it's definitely a quick build, as it were.
Yeah, maybe learning how to not make a giant vampire bat today. That might be my takeaway, but that's, you know, that's something.
I mean, I think make this giant vampire bat. I think both are like, I say make it.
Oh no, it's happening. This might be like one of my, you know, Thomas Edison learning 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. This might be my effort to learn how to not make a vampire bat. Yeah. You know.
There we go. Okay, I think I've got some feet in the work here, or some base for the feet, so at least this thing can stand. I'm going to have an armless golem is where I think I'm going to end up with. I'm going to have an armless golem, guys, to start off with here. Maybe he's like in the process of assembling. Like the golem is assembled, or in the process of assembling. No, I'm going to try to get him some arms today. So is this bat is you're shaping the bat with sandpaper, Daniel?
Yeah, it's trying to get using like folding the sandpaper over to get curves so that I can try to sort of shape the wings and stuff, and successes and failures, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. The hardest part here is trying to get them to stand in a way that looks natural. I think we should have maybe built them from the feet up.
Oh, from the feet up?
Yeah, just, you know.
Yeah, maybe. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Okay, let's see if I can chip away. Man, I need to bust out like the shop vac every week here because we end up carving up XPS foam. I'm going to pick a different thing next week, I swear, because the cleanup time for XPS foam is crazy in my my spare bedroom here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Yep.
That would work.
Oh. Going slow. Now I'm wanting to rush, but there's no need to rush. We don't need two cuts on the show today, man.
It was a good first injury. I'm proud of it.
Is that your first one? From like, had you cut yourself before carving on wood or anything?
Oh man, all the time. My left hand is held together by super glue. Put it that way.
Oh no! Oh no!
A very regular occurrence. I mean, the thing is, I do have carving gloves, but they're very much something that I feel impedes me.
Yeah,
As opposed
I feel the dexterity would go down too. I need enough. I need all my hand strength here, or not my hand strength, but like I just need I need all my dexterity, gripping this and cutting. I feel like I definitely feel I would be hindered by it too. Yep. Yep. What are you guys building out there? Another creature? If you're still with us, are you building? He said he might tackle some trees, a la Nat One videos. So I'm anxious to see where his progress is. We've got about 7 minutes left, gentlemen. 7 minutes
Oof.
left.
trees.
Yep. Man. I
Yeah,
swear though, like we keep doing these. If we keep doing these challenges and like just, by challenges I mean us just seeing what we can accomplish, in a short period of time. Oh my gosh, my foam piece of my XPS foam was wrapped around the tip of my hot glue gun and like melting and warping. I was like, "What's that smell? That's probably bad." But like by the end, if we keep doing these mini speed quick fire challenges as they were, right, we're gonna get pretty. I'm anxious to see how that bleeds over into our normal crafting, right? Because Karl, you were saying like it's something that uh, this is not a normal pace and a normal way to build for you. So
Definitely.
it's definitely I found you know if it's definitely going to change the way and influence I think crafting in a good way, like not worrying so much about completing the project, but like I think pushing I like the fact that I get to push myself and challenge to see what can be created in this time, right? I think that's fun.
Yeah, more than that, I think it's also a good excuse to experiment because you're only committing so much time to it.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it too. It's a great way if you've never tried a technique, right? To see where it goes. Like Daniel's busting out that sandpaper. Is that a first for you, Daniel? Have you used that sandpaper before?
Not like in this small of a scale for sure. So it's different.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, that's good. We're all going to be a little bit wiser, and you never know. Karl, you're using that leftover plastic from the miniatures. Like you never know when that's going to come back up. Now that you've crafted with it at this moment in time, it'll come up.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing again. Like you get an idea of what's possible, what's definitely not possible, what's possible, and for example, one of the things I just made a dry run some time ago with this on with the liquid poly. It makes it possible, but still not very easy to texture the plastic.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So I might actually take the opportunity later on today to play with this some more on here.
Nice.
I don't. I was hoping to get it out to try it out while we're here, but it feels like it will take a bit longer to harden enough to make that possible.
Yeah. It's definitely time, right? That time is always going to be a huge factor in the builds. Like how much time is it going to take to assemble it?
Yeah, I think drawing time is the enemy of this project for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to have the patented hair dryer on standby. Well, I'm coming along. I've got some legs and a torso. It's coming along here, ladies and germs. It's pretty cool. I don't know what does the head look like on there? Am I ready for a head? Oh yeah, I like that head. Maybe I put it on a swivel where I can like mount it and like I can turn it. Oh, can I put like a ball socket on there? How do I do a ball joint on there so I could adjust it? That's kind of cool. I don't know yet. I don't know. I think it looks a little funky just sitting right there, but pretty close. We'll see. We've got, oh man, 3 minutes, gentlemen. 3 minutes. What are we doing in 3 minutes? What can you finish in 3 minutes? Look at this. Look at this. Look at those everywhere. What did you say there, Michael?
I haven't resolved myself to the fact that I'm not going to complete my project.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. I felt confident. I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish this stone golem today, and then it's just not. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen today. That's okay.
I thought that this would have been easier than it's turned out. Anyway.
Well, I'm sure we could have done. I'm sure if you guys see it out there, right? If there an easier way, wrapping. I don't know. Like if there's something that you guys think of that would have expedited the process, please leave a comment in the video section or let us know, because we are always looking. That's part of it for us too. Like, we are looking to improve our skill sets. Nether creature here, Michael says he's wrapping twine around concentric circles for that thatch roof, right? Meow. So he's thatch roofing it. It sounds like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never. If I want to try that out.
I've never tried that either. I haven't done a thatch roof yet. Have you done that? Have you ever done a thatch roof, Karl?
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
Something I will want to be doing, but not yet.
There was a guy who posted in Tabletop Crafters this week where he did hand carved wood, and the roof. I don't know if anyone saw it. All of the building was hand carved balsa wood.
Oh yeah,
Oh, what?
that looked lovely.
And he had like it was like a Viking kind of looking design, and it was just that for me was another level, because I love that hand carved wood thing going on anyway.
Was that the one where he actually used a broom to make the thatch on it? Somebody who showed he was using a broom.
Yep.
And it was brilliant.
Oh my gosh, a broom for the thatch. Like, I love that natural. Anytime anyone can use the natural materials and carve and create the terrain out of that is just next level for me. I love it. I love it. All right, gents, we got about 1 minute. Wrap up whatever we're there. We're at the 55 mark, and we'll see.
I think I'll use this to unglue myself from this thing. Okay.
Yeah, we've got time. Look at that. Oh, I mean, I don't have arms on him yet, but I definitely have the makings of this massive stone golem who might stand upright when I'm done with him. There he is. There he is. All right, gentlemen. Let's bring it up here. Let's go round table here. Karl, show us what you got there.
Okay, so far I've got actually 1 second.
Oh yeah, perfect. Dude.
Okay, I still want to heat up these finger things, so they droop down a bit. I want them to look a bit more like tentacles or something.
I love the shape that you created there. That's amazing. That looks wonderful.
What I'm planning to do now is later on go all over it with polystyrene cement to melt it some more, which should soften it out a bit, round it out a bit. Then I can carve some textures into the stuff.
Wow, that looks so cool, Karl. I love it. It's got a great sense of character already to the monster by the way you've assembled those recycled pieces together. That looks really cool, man. Really
Again,
cool,
from this point, it's bulked up. Then from here on, it would be carving if you want to add anything onto it.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks quite androidish, or kind of almost like some sort of robotic kind of creature.
Yep.
Say again, sorry?
It kind of almost looks like some sort of robotic kind of thing, like an android or something like that.
At this point, yeah, but that's because of the shape of the spruce. But once it's softened up, it should look different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to see that. You're going to finish it, obviously, yeah?
Yeah, maybe not this evening, but definitely.
Yeah, I like to see the final result.
You'll have to definitely put that in the message with the shared message there, brother, so we can check it out. Yep. All right, Daniel, where'd you get? Let's see your bat.
Okay. So I put a little gray paint on it so that you could actually see some of it. And so I took the entire body and I took my low temp hot glue and sort of like just streaky hot glued over it to try to get some like texture on it. And I didn't have anything to like make like teeth or anything, but yeah. So
that's out of XPS.
Yeah, and then the head and feet are layers of dollar store foam core guts.
Dude.
But yeah.
Nice.
What about wings?
So that's a chunk of XPS that I sort of drew out the shape, and then I bisected it, and then I just took this really coarse sandpaper, and to get all the curvature, I just sort of took the sandpaper and put a little divot in it, and it just concentric divots. I don't know, or side by side divots. Yeah.
I'd say you definitely your boldness paid off, my friend. That's the makings of a really good monster.
I like this dumb guy. Look at him.
I think it's fantastic. It looks great. Michael, let's see Frozen 3 in action. Yes, I think it looks great, man.
I think once it's all done, it will
look
up
really good. I like the you have chosen an active shape for your stone golem. My stone golem is not gonna have that active shape. Like, it looks like it's charging in to destroy the party.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna do a big kick or something.
Dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, that's looking good. Mine is okay. It's definitely, it's got a nice, it's got the scale that I wanted anyway, which was really large. See if we can get it as close to that face. Don't mess with that face. I got teeth on mine. I was able to take a little bit of teeth, but he's got legs, but he's got no arms yet. So we'll have to add some arms to him and see if we can figure out how to finish this guy up. But, well, pretty bold, gentlemen. Pretty bold for about an hour's worth of time. I'm extremely impressed by our bold choices that we made today, and we came up with some cool stuff, I think, in the hour, and those would be fun projects to finish up with. Karl, thank you so much, my friend, for joining us today. Thank you for
inviting me.
Oh yeah,
it's
man.
been fun.
I'm glad you had fun. That's definitely kind of the whole point for us, is to make sure we come on and get a little time crafting and get to pick the brain of such a talented crafter. And thank you so much for dedicating that time. And everyone, if you have not done so already, please check out Karl Makes Stuff, his YouTube channel. He's got tons of videos up there. I've only seen a couple, and I know the like I said, the rabbit hole I'm gonna fall down this week. So looking forward to that. Michael, thank you as always for joining. Yeah. I'm sorry you were the first casualty on the bin challenge. I'm glad it's nothing that a little super glue couldn't solve.
Exactly.
And Danny, thanks for resetting the router. I'm glad you reset the router, brother, and jumped on. It was always fun to see you. And if you're I knew when I was excited to see what you were coming up with in the bat monster. That is, I was like, there's no way it's gonna get to that level, and blown me away. It's such a you almost completed the darn thing. It's amazing.
Well, that's for me, I love working with the XPS foam and carving it, but I hadn't thought about sanding it, so I'm taking that one.
Yeah, the sanding's a good one. The sanding is a good one. That's a good way to texture it. All right, y'all. You can find us every Sunday here at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for joining us for the stream today. Looking forward to having you guys, more of you guys on here, sharing more knowledge. Karl, we're looking forward to having you back on here one day. And please, y'all, as soon as you finish those builds, send me some pictures, so we'll put it up on the Crazy Crafter Instagram, we'll get those photos and we'll share them with the community, and definitely we'll have to post them in the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Have to share with everyone, let them know that what we're cooking with. Cool. All right, y'all. Till next week, be safe and remember to craft your passion daily. Cheers, everyone.